Find Yourself podcast, take one.
All right.
Oh, hello, guys. Wow.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Finding Yourself podcast. I'm Abby. I'm your host. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to be filming a very special episode. So today is going to be the day where I kind of just tell you everything that went down in my move to LA. So it's kind of just like the sit down real raw version. Like, I know that there's so many vlogs out there about my moving, my everything, but I kind of just want to debunk and talk about the whole process because there's so much to talk about and there's so much that happened. So yeah, if you guys just want the sit down time story, come on down, come on and listen, hear ye. So let's get into it. So basically how my whole LA trip started is, my whole LA move started is that a year ago, I told God, I was like, I don't want to be in Miami a year from now. And when I explained that, LA has always been my home. It's always been a place where it's been my safe haven. It's kind of like my Disney World in the way that it's like home away from home. And I've always loved LA. Like, I don't know why. There was just something about it that I was like, this is my home. This is my place. I feel like I was called here. And maybe it was because of YouTube. Maybe it was because of like me being extra, like getting to wear lashes, and like everybody would wear heels, and like when I would be extra at church, like, and be extra at home, like everybody would be in sweatpants and they're like, why are you so much? Like, you're too much. And I'm like, this is who I am. Like, I enjoy being extra, and I just didn't feel at home, you know. But Miami is all that I've ever known, and I was like, oh yeah, like for sure I'm gonna be in Miami. And basically, like, I thought Miami was end all be all, and yeah, and then situations happened where it wasn't, and I was like, you know what, like, I think LA can actually be a thing. And it was, I think 2 years ago, actually, my friend Leo, he talked to me about moving to LA, and he's like, you should move to LA. Like, it was my sister's bachelorette, and we like had lunch, like he met my family and we had lunch, and he was like, you should move to LA, like you don't belong in Miami. And I was like, nah, Miami's my home, like I am here for the ride. And he's like, well, if like things didn't happen and like you didn't have all that, would you come? And I was like, yeah, for sure. That happened 2 years ago. And then 2 years later, basically after that conversation, and in July, I took a trip to Washington. You guys saw in the video that I met someone on the plane. No, it was not romantic. It was just, you know, like you meet someone on the plane and you kind of have a heart to heart. And it was like one of those movie moments that only happens in the movies, where you kind of meet someone and you like express your whole heart and soul to them. And I'm like, this is crazy. So we met, and I basically told him the whole story, and I told him, I was like, LA is my home, like I love LA. And then he told me, he's like, if you were to move anywhere, like what, or like what's your dream? And I was like, to move to LA. And he's like, do it. And I'm like, I can't just do it, like I have so much responsibility, I can't just get up on a plane and move. And he's like, you know, in 5 years will you regret where you're gonna be? And I was like, yeah. So that kind of like triggered the process. And I remember coming home, and I remember telling my mom, and I was like, I felt this from God, you know. And I didn't feel like yeah, that guy like told me that, but it was just like this inkling that I was like, something in me remembered. I was like, I need to be in LA, like I need to be there. And I don't know how I was gonna do it. I don't know when I was gonna do it, but I was gonna do it. And long and behold, I did. But moving on forward, after July, August, September, I took a solo trip to LA, and I took it, you know, the whole world saw it as like my healing era, like they saw it as me healing, but in general, I was honestly looking to see if LA was my home. And I took that time, I drove around, I took myself out on dates, I did the dang thing. And I remember I was having dinner before my birthday, and God always speaks to me a lot about my birthday, and Leo was like, we got it, like we got you, like don't worry, like we'll find you a place to stay, we'll find you this, that. And I remember going back and forth with him. I was like, I don't have a place to stay, I don't have a home, I don't have a job, I don't have this, I don't have that. And he's like, we'll get you a job, we'll get you a place to stay, like you can crash with us, like you can do this, you can do that, like don't worry, like we got you. And I remember the Holy Spirit, like God, like stepping back, and he was like, you're not talking to Leo, you're talking to me. And I was like shocked. I remember looking at the water and being like, oh my God. God, is this you? This is you, Lord, I know it's you. And then in September I kind of took that as a sign, and I took that as my confirmation, and I'm like, okay, bet, I'm ready to go. I remember telling my boss after, and he was shocked, I was shocked, we both were shocked, and he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, yes, I'm sure, but like I don't know how. I didn't have a job, I didn't have anything, but I was just like already like sharing it to be like, I'm just an oversharer, and it's a problem that I have, and it's fine. So September, October, November, December, so during those times I was making my resume, as you saw, I was making my production reel, as you saw. Like I remember I was just freaking out over that. And it wasn't even something to freak out about, because like I set my producer reel like a few places I should have worked on my website, and there's some things I should have done, but it's fine. Moving on from January, February, March. So in March, this is the time where I don't think you guys really saw this part. So I just quit my job. The Holy Spirit told me, he was like, you know, finish what you started and leave your job and move to LA. And I'm like, this is crazy, like how am I gonna do this? And he's like, do it, trust in me, and finish what you started. And I started my job 4 years ago, March 5th 2019, and I ended my job March 5th. I ended my job, I started my job March 5th 2019, I ended my job March 5th 2023. And that is so crazy to think about, that it was like a whole full circle moment. And like there were a lot of things that God was doing in my life, like me getting to edit for the last time for a conference, like me getting these things. And it was just like God was speaking to me so full circle. And something that I didn't mention in the vlog is that I had so many people help me out. Like my old boss, like my friend Melissa, like she helped me out so much with everything. My friend Kim, she helped me like get meetings with producers and everything. Like my friend Leo helped me out so much. And my friend Catalina helped me out so much. Like literally God put like those people in my life to help me during this transitional season, because it was just a lot. Like I remember crying, and I was like, how am I going to do this? I don't know how. And they were just there to help me, support me, and be like, believe with me, because no one was doing what I was doing, and I was ready. And I mean, I wasn't ready, but you know, I was being pushed to the edge, and God was just pushing me there. So yeah. So during the month of March, I quit working at King Jesus Ministry, and I think I went into this whole like identity crisis that I got to a point where I was like, who am I? You know, who am I outside of ministry? Who am I like not as a producer? Who am I like as an editor? Like who am I like outside? Because in California, I'm like in my head, this was me. I'm like, in California, I'm nobody. Like nobody knows Abby. Like I can't be like, yeah, I'm a producer, like I work here, or I do this and da da da. No, like I'm nobody. Like I'm literally starting off small, and I'm a small fish. I'm a small fish in a big pond. And I think that fear was just really scary, but I knew that God got me. So in that moment, I was just going through like a lot of, you know, things and a lot of processing, and I'm like, God, I did a lot and I'm tired. So I think I took that time to kind of just be with my family, say goodbye. I prolonged packing until the last week. I think I was just not having it. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not packing. Like I have to start my whole new life now. I have to start a new thing, start a new chapter. And they had plans to move like the first week of March, like right after I quit. And I was like, God, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to move right after, you know, like that is a lot. And I'm glad it was like 3-4 weeks later, because once we finally got a time for my uncle to move, we set the date, and I everyone had a goodbye party for me, and I'm so grateful. You can watch all those vlogs there. But it was just so beautiful, like being so celebrated and being with family and being with friends and just feeling so loved. You know, like I think that season was like, I think I was still like not healing, but I think I was still like going through the motions, and I'm like, oh my god, I just quit my job, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to move to this country, like I'm about to move to this state, like cross country, I'm about to be by myself and all this. So it was just like all this stuff, that this was the thing that I was working for all year, that I was like, the two things that I was dealing with was like my breakup, and like the two emotions that I was dealing with last year was like my breakup and my moving to LA. Like nothing else mattered. It was like those two things that I was healing and moving. And even before the move, sorry, I'm like going back and forth in my mind, is like, I remember the Holy Spirit was telling me, he's like, you can't move until you're fully healed. And I remember I took that moment and I was like, okay, God, like I need to heal. So I did Sozos, I did my inner healing work, I did like healing, deliverance, you know, praying, crying out, surrendering, you know, like all that jazz. You can go to my other video where I talked all about that stuff. But now moving on to like the whole moving process. So this moving process was crazy because I've never moved out before, and you don't realize how much stuff you have until you are packing 4 days before you have to go, and you're like, I have so much crap. Like I have so much stuff. Like I literally like how can I put all my stuff in 5 bags? Like how can I do this? And I remember looking through my clothes, and my aunt was like, I packed once and I was like, I'm good, I'm fine. And my aunt was like, no, you're not. You need to get rid of all this stuff. She's like, don't bring your baggage with you. And I was like, dang. I was like, ow, that hurt. And I kind of took that in like a spiritual way. I was like, don't take your baggage spiritually, don't take your baggage mentally, don't take your baggage physically. And it was just so wild, right? So then that was happening in my life when I was packing and unpacking. And once I finally got everything packed, dude, I remember I was upstairs the day before I was leaving, and it just hit me. Like I was crying, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss my family. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually moving. Oh my God, am I actually adulting? Oh my God, this is the best days of my life. Oh my God, I was like thinking about all this stuff, and now it's finally here. What the heck do I do? And I finally got to this place where I was like, I'm moving to LA. And I was like, whoa, it like hit. So I finally get to the car on like, I don't remember, the last week of March. I get to the car because they were like, leave in the morning, leave at night, leave in the morning, leave at night, leave in the morning. And I was like, I showered, and my uncle's like, we're leaving now at 11 p.m. And I'm like, okay. So we literally leave at 11 p.m. I say goodbye to my family, I say goodbye to my best friends, and they send me off. And it was just like such a surreal moment to be able to say goodbye to your home, to say goodbye to things, and like go on this journey of like not knowing what's next, but like with this excitement and this like, oh my God, like the whole world's my oyster. And I was still like, who am I? Like, you know, like it was all this stuff, right? So driving cross country was such a crazy experience. Like there was like a lot of highs, lows, sleeping, emotion, more sleeping, reading, more sleeping, more emotions, more dealing with things. And I was just dealing with, not really, I think I was just very excited that I was like, oh my God, I'm in New Orleans, oh my gosh, I'm in Florida, oh my gosh, Alabama, Mississippi, you know, Texas, seeing my friend. Like I think I was just so hyped that once I finally moved cross country, I finally got to LA. And I realized another thing I learned is that I realized I couldn't be in control of a lot of things, because there's this situation that happened that I couldn't be in control of things, and it happened, right? The girl gets to LA, I see the apartment, I come in, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like the first thing I think is like, I need to put like things in this bed. Like I need to get it together. I need to get my life together. I remember going with my uncle and I was like, I need to get my standing desk. Like I remember I was legit. I remember I was in Arizona and I was looking at Facebook Marketplace. Also, Facebook Marketplace is a great place. I was looking at Facebook Marketplace and I was like, I need to get a standing desk, but I do not want to pay $200-$300 for it because your girl is on budget. So I looked up Facebook Marketplace, found my desk for $80, and I was like, I'm gonna pick it up tonight. And we go to Glendale, we go to Max's, this Filipino restaurant, and my uncle wanted Filipino food the whole time. So what did we eat the whole time? Filipino food. And we basically ate around the United States. I'm not mad about it at all. And yeah, so we get to LA. We get my standing desk in Glendale. We go eat in Max's, and then we go home, and my car is like acting up, and I'm like, God, like we're tired. We don't know. We get to my home. I fix my bed, and like there's bags everywhere, and I'm like, God, this is so crazy. I moved to LA, and this is my feelings, and this is what I'm going through. And I think for the next few days, me and my uncle were just unpacking, fixing things, putting things together, packing, unpacking, and like putting everything together, putting my desk together, putting my area together that you guys will see in the room tour coming soon, or hopefully it's out by now. You guys will see all that, and I was like, I can't believe this is my life. And I remember looking back at the room when it was done, and I'm like, this is my room. This is it. So moving on, like after my uncle leaves. So my uncle, I drop him off at the airport, and you guys will see this in the moving vlog. Sorry, I keep like referring other videos. It's just because like I like remember it that way, because I feel like if I don't document it, I don't remember it. Not like in that way, but it's just so my uncle, I drop off my uncle at the airport. We go to the airport, and I remember driving off with this feeling of like, oh my God, like this is it. You're alone. No more noise, no more people, no more parties. You're doing the thing. Like you freaking move cross country, and you move to LA, and your room is set. Like, and I remember going back, and I think honestly, I don't remember what night it was, but I just remember going and crying, and I was like, I'm alone. Like this is it. Like I did it, you know, and I'm here. Like I'm living the dream that I wanted to live in. And I remember the first week I was like, you know, I was like, yeah, I'm here, I'm ready, like, la, 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 and driving around and be like, oh my God, this is my life. And then what ended up hitting me is everything is an expense, and everything is expensive, and everything costs money, honey. And another thing I learned is that save up money and look up the cost of living, because it's expensive. Gas is expensive. Groceries are expensive. Everything is expensive. Getting nails is expensive. You know, being an adult is expensive. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do it. And I remember the first few days, I remember like I was getting ready for a job, and I remember my mom calling me 12 days in. She's like, how are you? And I was like, I need a job, blah, blah, blah. And my mom was like, you're 12 days in, like rest. Like you're fine. And I'm like, she's like, I have faith that God's going to bless you. And I was like, yeah, me too. But, and then what I realized is that during that waiting season that you guys will see is that God wanted me to rest, and God wanted me to heal, and God wanted me to like take time and just be in his presence and really enjoy him, you know? So here I am a month later, and moving to LA, I got into this thing of routine that I was like, I can't control my job right now. I can't control what's happening, but what I can control is what I eat. What I can't control is what I work out. What I can control is me going to hike because it's free. So I decided to be this big hiking girl and like find out like all the best hikes in LA. I went there, encountered God, like read my Bible, went to church, like focused, did everything I needed to. And yeah. And then it's just crazy because like going into now, which is like new beginnings, I tried so many things. I went to concerts. I went to places where I never thought I would go. I saw things that I would never think that I would see. Like, if you know, you know. I realized that I was like, I feel like in new beginnings, you're trying to find out who you are and like doing things differently. Because I feel like when I came to LA, it was the first feeling of like, I'm by myself, I'm alone. And then after that, I was like, you know, I can be whoever I want to be. And who I want to be is like this girl that's on fire for God, which is like who I am. And I just remember like being in situations, talking to people, and I just like spew out God. And I've never felt more on fire for God. And like my love for him just like went forward. That I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm here, you know? And yeah, so I made it my mission to befriend all of the girls in ministry because they're amazing and I love them so much. And I got to hang out with each of them one-on-one, and we just hung out, told our stories. It was like not speed dating, but I feel like when you meet new people, you kind of tell them about your life, you know, what's been going on. Like, they're new people, they don't know you, you don't know them, they don't know your story, they don't know what you went through, they don't know your baggage. And it's just like such a fresh outlook on people and fresh outlook on things. And I think that's another thing that I wanted to talk about when I recorded an episode about Kingdom Friendships, is that making new friends isn't hard. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh my God, like you're moving to a new city, like you're gonna have to make all these friends, like it's gonna be so hard. And I remember not having to struggle with it. Like, it was like God placed like kingdom friendships around me. And I think like I was just so hurt in the past. And I was like, I'm not bringing her to LA. I'm not hindering myself from finding kingdom friendships. I'm not hindering myself from finding kingdom women that love you as much as I do. And I remember like going after it, you know, going after the women in church and going after like kingdom friends. And, you know, I went on a hike and I was talking about like a blessing that I had with one of my friends. And this girl, she just like, well, her name's Crystal, but like Crystal, I didn't know her then, but like to me, it was like this girl, she was like, oh my God, congratulations. And we'll kind of say when we share like our testimony and stuff, but she was like, congrats. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And we just started talking and boom, instantly clicking. And like, we were both dying on the hike, but we were like, oh, we can go hiking now. And like, we have hiking friends and let's plan a day. And then she literally lives 2 hours away, and she literally drove 2 hours to spend time with me, to come to like a youth service with me. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, how are you so nice? Hold on, my earpiece fell off. And I was like, how are you so nice? Like, I don't get that. Like, that is amazing. Like, you're amazing. Like, how can I find like God-driven people? Like, God literally sets people in your path. And I think that is so beautiful, that like I cherish community. And that was something on my vision board, that I was like, I want community of sisterhood and like this and that, and be glue and bring events and do that stuff. And I just feel like it's happening. And I was like, God, you're crazy. So that happened. And then, so like I said before, the two emotions that I dealt with was number one, my breakup, and number two, moving to LA. When I got to LA, so many more emotions came out. And it's not even about the breakup or like about the move. It was just about me in general. That like, there were some things that I saw that I was like, oh my God, I'm actually hurting. Conversations I would have, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm actually really broken. Like, fellowships that I would have, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm dealing with this, like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And I was like crying out to God, and like crying out because I'm lonely, crying out because, you know, situations are happening, crying out. And I'm like, God, like this is so crazy. And then God just is there. And I think like the beautiful thing is that in this journey, I've just been trusting in God and really after his heart, that I've just been, you know what, God, like you're here for me. You love me. You care for me. Like, I know you're here. And yeah, just basically like, you know, I felt like I was burnt out, and that's just in every area. It's not even like because like you're overworked or anything. It was just in every area. Like, I felt burnt out. Like in ministry, I felt burnt out in serving. I felt burnt out in working. I felt burnt out with friendships. I felt burnt out. Like, in almost every single area. And then now that I'm here, like, God gave me the season of rest, and he's like, you need to rest and you need to focus on yourself and you need to focus on everything. And the fact that I am so way more relaxed than I was before is so crazy. And I'm like, God, like, I actually have not a skincare routine, but I have like a routine at night. Like, I read now, like in the morning I read my Bible, like I make my breakfast. I haven't gone to Starbucks. Like I went to Coffee Bean once, but like my goal is to only go get coffee like once a week, and I would go to Starbucks every single day. Like, I actually sit down and eat my breakfast. Like, I'm not go, which is like so crazy because like in LA you would think that it would be like that. But my schedule has like slowed down, and I've realized that I've enjoyed like living a slow life. And I'm like, you can actually make time to work out. You can actually make time to relax. You can actually make time to be with people and stuff. So that is basically the tea with everything LA. I've learned some things, and I'll read it here because I feel like I wanted to share it. I shared it on my Instagram, but I want to talk about this. So let's talk about it. And then I'll leave you with this. So I wrote down some things that I learned here in LA, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I wanted to share the things I've learned about moving. So number 1, don't bring your baggage with you. So my tita said this. She was like, whether it be spiritual, physical, or emotional. And I was like, yes. And I took that to heart, and I was like, I will not bring my baggage with me. Number 2, you'll be living your dream, but it really hits you hard adulting. So number 2 was, you're living your dream, but reality will hit you really hard, the adulting. So basically adulting slapped me in the face, and it was like, you thought you were ready? No, you're not. And then I came home, and I'm going home soon, and I was like, Mom, I miss you. I'm sorry for taking things for granted. It's rough out here, but I'm grateful for you. The third thing I learned is all your emotions come out / becomes a lot. But I'm thankful that I have God with me. So I am thankful that I have God with me, and I'm thankful for podcasting. It's like therapy. I'm thankful for God because he's my rock. He is my savior. And when all my emotions come out, I'm just grateful for the community to be like, I know you're hurting right now, but God is with you. And I'm like, okay, I love you, God. 4, you'll learn to love being alone. I love people, but I've learned a lot. Number 4, you'll learn to love being alone. So I actually enjoy being alone now, which is so crazy because I never thought that I would enjoy the art of being alone or this and this, and I'm actually enjoying it. I think it's great. I think I enjoy solo dates with myself. I enjoy having a routine for myself. I enjoy being at home and editing. Like, I think I can be home and doing things and doing my purpose and doing things that make me feel joy and feel purpose with other people. And yeah, that's why I'm excited about this. I'm excited to be able to share my life and, get my voice here. And number 5, you will never be in control of a lot of things. Don't worry if a door closes because God has another one in store for you. So I think control is a big thing that I've dealt with. I don't know if you guys have dealt with it too, but I feel like I needed to be in control of everything, that everything had to be in a certain situation and a certain step. But God was like, no, I'm in control. And I'm like, yes, sir. And don't be alarmed if doors closes. Like, I've applied to jobs and it would seem like it's going to come through, and then things happen and it doesn't. And I'm like, you know what, God, you close the door, so you're going to open up another one. And that's okay. And that's okay if things don't work out. That's okay if things happen in your life. That's okay. But at the end of the day, like, God is in control. God is in control. He's in control, and he loves us, and he loves you. So, yeah. Well, God is just shining on me right now. Sorry about the whole lighting change. This is what happens when you film in a car, but it is what it is. Number 6. Enjoy the journey. You'll never be in the season again. So I was like, I'm going to enjoy this journey. I'm never going to be in the season again. I don't know what happens or how it happens, but at the end of the day, I'm going to enjoy the season. Why? Because God put me here. Number 7, trust in the timing of your life. God's timing is perfect. So amen. I believe and I trust in the timing of God. I trust in his will. I trust in what he's saying, what he's doing, because I know that God has something beautiful in store. And in this season of waiting, you got to enjoy the journey. Number 8, you're doing great. It took guts to move cross country. Thank you. And number 9, say yes to new opportunities. You'll never know what will happen if you said no in that season. So in Miami, I would say no to a lot of things. No to hangouts, no to fellowships, no to this, no to that. Because I was like, no, I need to rest. I need to rest. I need to rest. And now that I'm here, God has convicted me, and he's like, say yes. Say yes to opportunities, say yes to new seasons, say yes to new friendships, say yes to this and that. You never know what can happen in this season if you said no. So why are you limiting yourself? Why are you doing that? And I remember I just felt convicted that I was like, God, okay, I'm going to say yes. So your girl is in this yes season. Obviously, don't say yes to drugs. Obviously, don't say yes to things that aren't in your convictions with God and stuff. Be wise. But what I mean is say yes to the people are oh, we're going out to dinner tonight. Can you come? Yes, for sure. Hey, we're going on a hike today. Can you come? Yes, for sure. Hey, do you want to go on a 2-hour drive to San Diego? Sure, let's go. When am I going to have the season back? I want to be able to look back at these videos and look back at this time and tell my kids and be your mom moved cross country with this amount of money in her paycheck and this amount of money in her bank account, and God provided, and now look where she is. And it's just so surreal to be here 28, move cross country. I know it's probably getting annoying, but I have filmed so many vlogs, I've filmed so many things, but I'm you know what, this is my life, this is what happened, and I'm ready to share it. I'm ready to experience this with you guys. And I feel I need to process this in a podcast because it's until I fully process things or until I fully speak about it, I can't move on. And I feel I've been moving for a month already, and it's I'm when is it done yet? I need to just upload all these vlogs so I can move on with my life, and new things are happening in my life. New seasons are opening up, new opportunities are happening. And yeah, so that is that. I ran out of battery on my camera, so I'm sorry guys, we're just gonna do the rest on here. So that is basically my LA journey. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this time. It was a great podcast. I love you guys so much. Rate the podcast, give it 5 stars. Follow me on Instagram at Appster7. Follow me at Finding Yourself Podcast, Finding Yourself _podcast on Instagram, and then at Life Films if you need photography, videography. So Life _films_. And yeah, I love you guys. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this opportunity that the sun is shining on my face right now, and it's great. I feel God's radiating his love on me, but I'm super late to hop, so I need to go. And I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this time, because God is faithful. And I want to encourage you, if you are in a season where you are scared, and you are in a season where you want to make a decision to take the leap or take that faith, take this as a sign that this is your sign to take that leap. This is your sign to take that leap, to take that opportunity. I want to encourage you to stop being scared and to take that leap and to jump, because if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? So that's the thesis and brothers of God. So I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video, the next podcast. Love you guys. Bye.